What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Reel Junkies. I'm your host, Ron. Here again, my man Vito. And today we coming at you with a classic, actually.
Classic.
Good little classic. Figure we go retro with the reviews on this one. Reviewing Boomerang, very classic Eddie Murphy film for those of you who are familiar, which I hope most of you are. Um, this was, I feel like, a time in filmmaking. Like this was like peak black filmmaking was when Boomerang came out. Like the '90s run that black films went on is something that I don't know if we're ever going to see replicated. I sincerely hope we do. Um, but I just don't know. I can't think of any other time period where we got that many black classics in one decade other than the '90s. If y'all got one, please feel free. I know we had some great black exploitation films in the '70s and all of that. So I want to pay respect to that time period as well. But as far as like the films people close to me and Vito's age grew up watching, '90s for sure. Like that's our era. And Boomerang, I feel like is one of the pinnacles, definitely one of the ones that holds a higher rank amongst the others, in my opinion, at least. For one, this cast is stacked.
Fucking stacked, man.
Like the
It's
side characters
ridiculous.
are stacked. Like you know
Martin,
what I'm
a
saying?
young Martin Lawrence, David Allen Greer,
Martin Lawrence is a side
Detroit's
character.
own David Allen Greer.
Martin Lawrence and David Allen Greer are side characters in this movie. That should tell you how stacked this cast is. John Witherspoon has one scene in this movie.
Tisha
Chris
Campbell.
Rock is the male
I
dude at the
forgot he's in
office.
here.
Like these are like some of the
This
side
is back
characters.
when niggas liked Chris Rock. Listen,
Facts. Tisha Campbell is a side
Tisha
character.
Campbell.
Like these are some heavy hitters who are they don't have like small roles outside of John Witherspoon. He is in one scene, but like their characters aren't prominent to pushing the story
Right.
forward. You know what I'm saying? And these are some heavy hitting actors playing these roles. So that's like to me one of the biggest calling cards of this film, which is how stacked the cast is. And I feel like it makes it so that no scene has a dull moment. You know what I'm saying? There's always star power on screen, no matter what scene you're in, which is I feel like something that's pretty unique to this film is no matter what's going on, there's always star power in every scene, and that is one of the things that I think helps carry this film a little bit as far as pacing, as far as keeping the audience engaged. Obviously, on top of the fact that it's written very well, the chemistry between the characters is very well. Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, David Allen Greer have good chemistry on screen,
I
and
have
it's
a
also
I have a
no go ahead.
heavy ass disagree, dog.
You have a heavy disagree. What's your
Heavy
disagree?
disagree. Um no, I remember this movie a lot differently. Um, and I think so. Like you said, the one thing about the '90s is a lot of fucking black. I want to say we could say romantic movies, love movies.
Mm.
Came out
Really,
at the,
all
during
genres.
during the time, and again, I don't think most people don't understand like the stardom that Eddie Murphy had at the time,
Yeah, he
but
was
like
him.
he Eddie Murphy was that nigga, you
This
know.
is this is when he was him for real. Like
But
this is yeah.
dude, I listen. I remember certain parts of the movie, but I do not remember it like this. And like you said, like I feel like the scenes are written well, but I feel like whoever had the last say so of what scene goes where, I feel like a lot of scenes were just placed in there to be there. Um,
That's a fair
it
critique.
does have it has a long runtime for a movie in the fucking '90s. I think the
A
total
romantic comedy in the '90s at that.
it has to be somewhere around because I think it said it almost
it's
hit 2 hours on my screen, so it has to be somewhere around an
it's
hour
like an
forty
hour
five
50.
minutes
It's an hour 50. I'm looking at it right now. It's an hour
runtime.
57. Yeah,
Yeah,
hour 57. So
so
pretty
it
much
has a
2 hours.
long ass runtime for a movie in the '90s, and I feel like there are a lot of things that we didn't need to see. And I just put it like that. They threw a lot of shit in there. And like you said, I don't know if they knew all these people were going to be big stars, but like you said, we did. Yeah, Rob. Again, we missed people. We named off about 4, 5 people, six
We didn't say
people. We
Robin
missed people.
Givens.
Robin
We didn't
Givens,
say
Eartha Kitt is in this motherfucker.
Eartha
you know,
Kitt. Yeah, we didn't say
you know.
Eartha Kitt.
So you got
Uh,
all these uh black stars in his movie, and like I said, I remember it a lot differently, dude. I remember it being funnier than it is. I don't know why that is,
Hmm.
but I really couldn't get over the fact that it honestly felt like they had a story and then they just threw shit in there. I'm gonna talk about the character once we progress a little longer in the story.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the characters because Eddie Murphy a hoe ass nigga.
I mean, in a sense, yeah, right.
I
Like
never
this
I
is.
never thought I'd say that about Eddie Murphy, but Eddie Murphy a hoe ass nigga, man. He a
I'm gonna
hoe
need you to
ass
expand on
nigga.
that now. Actually, I need to.
Bro, so um we just gonna jump right into it. So y'all, you should have seen the movie. I'm not gonna say fucking spoiler
Movie
because
came out
the
in
movie came out in
'92.
'92.
Yeah,
So,
spoilers don't count here. This movie came out in
so
1992. Spoilers don't count here.
Eddie Murphy's character is a playboy.
Yeah,
And his company is being. I don't know if he owns the company. If he, well, I know
he's like
he
he was
just works
supposed to
at.
be the head of marketing.
Yeah,
He
he's
works
like
in
the
the
vice
marketing
president
department.
of it.
Yeah,
I
and
do
they're
want to
being
say
acquired by another company.
why they had this nigga dressing like the future man. Like this
Hey,
nigga,
bro.
that first outfit with the red suit with the V
Yeah.
neck like
Yep.
pullover, that bitch
Yeah.
was hard as hell, but it looked
Yeah.
like some shit you would have seen in Star Trek, which is funny because they do watch Star Trek,
I'm about to
and
say it's some Star Trek references in this.
that's actually the part where he becomes a whole ass nigga because they have dinner,
Hmm.
him, his boys. I don't remember Martin's character, but his boy Gerard,
Gerard.
who's played by David Allen Greer.
Hmm.
Gerard's parents, who's played by John Witherspoon, and
I know why you said what you said
I
now.
don't remember her name, but if you've
Yeah.
seen Friday After Next, it is the landlord. so,
Yeah. That played David
so,
Allen Greer's mother. Yeah.
and then you got Holly Berry, who
Yep.
plays a co-worker of theirs because all of the friends work together.
Yep.
Everybody in that group except the parents work together.
Yep.
And at the time, David Allen Greer's dating Holly Berry. They're
Yeah.
not, and they say, "Hey, we're just friends," but again, but they kicking it.
They're
They
dating.
they're dating, and at the end of the night, she helps him clean up his house. Marcus, who was
She helps
played
Marcus.
by Eddie Murphy. Again, remember she's dating Gerard, David Allen Greer. Everybody else leaves. She stays to help him clean. Fall asleep on the couch watching Star Trek. They wake up, they kissing each other, face to black. They done hit, they done fucked. All right, it's happened. All right,
Yeah.
and it don't say it happened at this point, but you know it happened because
Yeah.
of how his relationship with women is at this time.
Yeah.
A few scenes went by before we even got to that part, I
Before
believe.
it was addressed between him and Gerard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they all playing pool together. He like, hey, what's going on with Angela? And he like, I had to cut her off, this, and that.
Yeah.
He like, she was sweating me and shit. And Gerard plays like this very corny ass dude, uh, very corny and goofy. All right,
Yeah.
so he's saying all this, and Marcus again, he hit his boy's girl. So he like, oh, I just was asking how she was doing. He keep asking like, why you ask me that though? Like
Why you
she
ask
like
like
he like so he started catching
no,
on. He
first he
like
asked, he was like, would you care? So he was like, oh,
yeah,
since y'all done, you wouldn't care if she dated anybody
that's what
else,
it
would you?
was.
Yeah, and then Gerard's like, wait a minute, why the fuck are you asking me that?
Yeah, and he started putting two to two together.
Yeah,
And then he like, you can't even look me in my eyes, nigga. He just walks out. He walks out.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the crazier part to that is when he comes back, or Martin's he's there with him, but he's away from the table at the time. He comes
mhm.
back and he's like, "What happened?" And Eddie Murphy said, "What do you think happened?" And he said, "Martin go, oh no." So so,
Yeah.
so you didn't
Yep.
even again, bro.
Yeah.
Or because at one point he does ask him like, "Did you sleep with her?" And
Yeah.
I don't think he ever answered, but that's when he was like, "You can't
He
even
said
look me in my
yeah.
face." Oh, did he? Okay.
It was like a very subtle, like when you know you guilty, but you got to still tell the truth. It was one of them yeses.
Yeah, I cuss, mama.
Yeah, it was like one of them. It was one of them.
I ate your cereal.
Yeah, yeah. It
So,
was one of them for sure.
and that's why I mean, like, he was just a whole ass nigga for that whole thing. Like I said, when I grew up, bro, when I came up, you know, you just don't do no shit like that, man.
Yeah,
When you if your boy dating somebody you want to date, first of all, it is what it is. You lost out, my nigga. But
yeah,
then let's say they start fucking with each other. All right, check with your boy first, dog.
yeah,
See if they
yeah,
still got something going on. But
yeah.
he didn't even wait till they were done dating to
Like they were
do it.
still technically like at this point she's meeting his parents, so they're not done. You know what I'm saying? They still have something going on, and you just said, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna just." Clearly, it don't look like they progressing, which he's
Yeah.
just assuming that, and then goes ahead and sleeps with her. No, you are right.
That was some.
Marcus
That
was
was
a
some.
whole ass nigga in this
That's some
movie.
slime ball ass shit, and it's
Marcus was a
crazy
whole ass
because
nigga in
they
this
already,
movie. Yeah,
and Gerard is crazy because his whole thing. He again. I feel like some of the. Well, let's just say this. The only character that was really fleshed out was Eddie Murphy's character and
yeah.
Robin Givens' character because they was the same person.
I would agree. Angela was a little fleshed out because you just got more in backstory on the why she is the way she is,
Yeah, but
right?
they
But
I feel like they didn't start doing it like
until the third act, she didn't
and
get that
like you
until the
said
third act.
they until
Yeah,
the fucking third act you like okay well why is she important she's
yeah,
like even the care that was in her for him
hmm,
was like where is this coming from and
yeah,
Robin Gibbons said that when she said something to her like hey whatever stop messing with him leave
yeah.
him alone because
And she like,
it's
why
a
you give a fuck?
it's affecting his work right now.
Yeah,
And that's the part that killed me when she said, "Why do you care, bitch?" He works for you. Y'all got a big ass project, and then we seen why you should care because,
yeah.
hey, that freaky ass nigga.
No, I
What,
got to pull
what,
up his character's name because I got to give
what's
him
his
justice.
name, dog? That freak
Nelson.
Nelson is a freaky ass nigga. That was one scary ass, freaky ass.
Definitely, and I love how they just gave subtle hints to it throughout the movie before you got to that scene. So you remember
Yeah.
the scene in like one of the first pitch meetings when Strange Is wilding, she takes her panties
And
off, like puts it in the doctor's face or puts it in
he
the
put that bitch in
scientist's
his.
face. That John got all the
That's
way to
that's
Nelson.
that's in
Nelson said,
that's in
"Oh,
my notes
panties?
here.
Hmm. Let me go ahead and take this along with me." Like they hint it very early, like, "No, this is a
Yeah,
freak monster
that's
character."
literally the last thing that I have in my notes before I stopped taking notes
Nelson's still in panties.
because like yeah because it got like I said it got to the point where things were just happening and they were
Yeah,
very irrelevant.
yeah,
Um, not even him stealing panties. The first pitch meeting that he had with Eddie Murphy, and he had the bananas and the
hmm,
cherries, and
yeah.
I'm like, Usher must have been watching this shit when he started when he
That's where he got
decided
the inspiration from.
he's
Hey,
because
dog.
Eddie Murphy like yo he like it's good but you gotta tone it down. He said this too much. And
It's a
again
lot,
remember
bro.
Eddie Murphy in this movie is a sexual ass nigga. All right.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, like he was a whole ass nigga for that man. Like everything else that
Nah,
he
I'm
did,
with you.
and what made it worse was he introduced Angela and Gerard.
He initiated the relationship
He
and they just moved
initiated and
it.
he pushed her off on him.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say he pushed her off on him because his goal was always what they call her Josephine, right? Robin Givens' character,
Jacqueline. Yeah.
Jacqueline. He pushed her off on Jacqueline, or he wanted Jacqueline, and she's friends with him. So like they just talking. He like, oh hey, talk to him real quick, and dips
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
So not only did you try and set your boy up with somebody, and then nigga, you like fuck it, hey, fuck it. Like it's very wild. It was
Very
very
grimy.
wild.
It was very grimy. Honestly, like, but that is to me kind of the point of Marcus's character. He's not really supposed to be a good person, right?
No, I
That is
see.
the point of his character. Now, I'm not saying what he did was right. No,
No,
I'm
no, no.
saying the
So
point of his character is to be a bad person.
I
That's
didn't
kind of
think
what.
his character was a bad. I mean, again, not saying like I don't even want to say he necessarily dogged women. He played them for sure.
Yeah,
He played them for sure. Like that, his whole persona is player. But
yeah.
like we ever never had anything that would say that he would be a bad friend.
A bad friend. Okay, you're right there. As far as his treatment of like
Yeah,
how he engaged with women is like, all right, it's a little slimy.
yeah,
But you're right. As far as how he treated his friends, you're right. That was never presented in the film of like he's the type of person that would do something like that to someone who's considered his boy. You
Right.
are right there. So I do want to amend that. He's in the film, he's presented that way as far as his treatment of women, hence the title Boomerang, because he's supposed to meet somebody, and Robin Gibbons' character that kind of gives him his own treatment, right? But in terms of how he engaged with his friends, you are right. That's not really something that we really see until that scene with Gerard, where you kind of see like, dude, you about to do this to your mans? You know what I'm saying? Like this girl just met his parents. You know what I'm saying? He's still working shit out with her, and you gonna sleep with her same night. So you do have a point there, yes.
So, and when you think about it, like I said, like they broke up, which again, it with them, it probably was like it's just a natural pullback. But at this point, she'd already fucked your man's, and she was already catching feelings for him because I guess she liked the wounded puppy thing, and so now she catching feelings for him while she's supposed to be working things out with your boy, and you like. It was just very slimy thing, and like you said, like Robin Givens was supposed to give him a taste of. I feel like this was like it. Honestly, to me, this felt like 3 different movies playing at the same time.
I can see that.
I definitely when I've tried to figure out what it was playing on, and I seen the IMDb rating at 5.2, I said 5.2, nigga. Eddie Murphy, Robin Givens, Halle Berry. My voice got high like that.
You like, hold on, what you mean a 5.2? No, I disagree with that rating wholeheartedly though on IMDb. I don't think this film is a 5. It's setting at a 5.6 right now. I think that's a little egregious. I agree this film is not perfect. I agree this movie's not perfect. But to me,
I'm going to agree with that rating.
Really?
I'm going to agree with the rating. Just because, like I said, I don't... And again, y'all got to remember... we had different opinions.
Fill out on them in the comment section, y'all.
It's a lot of things that can make a movie good, make a movie bad. Now, yes, the acting was fucking phenomenal out of everybody. You got Eddie Murphy's classic. His fucking laugh. You got Chris Brock's whole fucking high pitched thing that he does.
Yep.
David Allen Greer's just always cool and calm when he's playing. Fucking Halle Berry, dude. Just when she came on scene, bro, I said there is no fucking way.
There's a lot of beautiful women in this movie.
There's no fucking way. You bitch ass nigga, Eric Benet. All right, you dirty slimy ass nigga. What's wrong with you?
How you do that?
No, you stupid ass nigga. Jay-Z, you was a dumb motherfucker too, nigga. Y'all like I just
people don't deserve good things.
You do not deserve these women. Now again, I don't know what the fuck they be doing back at the crib. They might be putting their hands on y'all. Maybe that's why y'all stepped out. I don't know. But Halle Berry, we would have had about 3-4 kids at this point. I mean, she was a couple years older than me, but I don't even care. But no, man, like I said, the fucking I just like I said it just felt the storyline felt very disorganized. And for me, that's 100% the only reason that I'm knocking it down like that, because it was just everywhere. Like you said, who was that? Who's that at the beginning of the movie? That with the dog. What's her name?
The actress, I know, I'm forgetting the character's name. The actress is Leah Roken.
Yeah, Leah Roken.
I can't remember the character's name right now.
So, I don't even think he knew her fucking name.
He probably did, honestly.
But the way he did that shit was so fucking clean, and
that was smooth. I ain't gonna lie, that was smooth as hell.
That was some smooth ass shit.
That opening scene was smooth as hell. I got to give him that one.
But I just could never imagine being that fucking pressed that I'm about to pay $20 for a leash. Back in '92, $20 for. Hey, that nigga said, "Give him the leash, stupid." Nigga talking to his wife like that.
Like what, bro? Nah, that shit is nuts.
Again, like I said, it's my rating of this movie. It falls. I think maybe if it would have been better structured, I would have gave it a 7. And even then, I feel like you said, it's a classic movie. It's a good movie, but it's not as good as I remember it being.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, like watching other movies and watching movies that are shit Oscar worthy movies and top quality movies, having that much disorganization in the scenes really bothers me.
That is a fair critique of this. And overall, like I still love Boomerang, still think it's a classic. If you ask me to rank like my favorite black classic films, Boomerang will probably be on there. Maybe not in the top five, in the top 10 probably.
It's in top
Um,
10 though.
yeah, top 10, probably not top five, but top 10.
I
Yeah,
feel I smell a top 10 list coming on. Not
me
today,
too.
but we
Me
might
too. Me too. That
might
might
have
have
to
to be
do a
something.
top 10.
But I think like because I do agree that's a fair critique though. Like the especially towards the third act, this film does start to get a little disjointed. It doesn't really know what to focus on. Like it's focusing on. It feels like it's set. The film spends a lot of the first two acts setting up a lot of different storylines,
Mm-hmm.
and then it tries to resolve them all at the same time. And I feel like if that had been executed better, it could have worked. But the way it's presented in this film does feel a little disjointed. We are simultaneously addressing a rift between Marcus and Gerard over Angela. Marcus catching feelings for Angela while also still messing with Jacqueline, who is also kind of the point of the movie and why the movie is called Boomerang, because Marcus as a character is experiencing from a woman the things that he's been doing to women throughout the film. And all three of those storylines are kind of getting addressed and resolved at the same time in the third act. And it feels very disjointed. So I do
Mm-hmm.
think that is a fair critique of this film. I just don't think that for me is enough to overshadow all the other good things about this movie. Like I said, the star power is amazing. The performances are great. I think all the characters have really good chemistry with each other and play off of each other
Yeah,
very
no,
well. And there,
that might have been, honestly, that might have been another saving grace. Like I said, the chemistry,
yeah,
even when you can tell Jacqueline and Angela are at odds with this whole Marcus thing after she
yeah,
like pretty much breaks up with him and he's feeling down and blue and shit. Like
yeah,
even just the subtle, hey, I just want you, and she's like, why you care? And
yeah,
like then
yeah,
it's very like it's a passive aggressive thing after that. It's like, okay,
yeah,
well, thank you, and
yeah.
like I said, like the chemistry between all the characters is good, and she a hoe ass nigga too.
Jacqueline, yes,
You
absolutely,
you knew she
absolutely.
was dating her, bro. Y'all,
Like, yeah,
and that's again. I'm sorry. This last thing I'm gonna say. It introduced those two together. Like I don't want to say they were friends, but they were friends. All right. First they were Jacqueline and Angela. They were
yeah,
friendly. Then they were friends. And
yeah,
it's like so. Like it's very wild just the turn that everything took.
yeah. No, absolutely. I don't want to jump around too much, but while it's on my mind, I do want because you mentioned the opening scene with Leah Rokin's character, which kind of brings up another character that I did want to address, and Tisha Campbell, who, a for one, great performance. I do want to say that she did a phenomenal job. But rewatching this movie, it like dawned on me. I was like, this is like top tier level hating, like top tier level hating. Imagine being so mad at a nigga that every woman he brings home, you're at the fence shouting like a crazy person, like, hey, don't do it, don't do it. He gonna do this, he gonna do X, he gonna do Y. She made signs.
But look, that's why
she had like, bro, like it was very
that
OD after a certain point.
that is why you do not shit where you eat.
That is a fair point.
Because now y'all was neighbor. First of all, I want to know how this apartment was set up. First of all,
Yeah.
where this nigga has a backyard.
Backyard patio looking thing with
so
a fence that's connected to the other unit.
so he had to have the top floor penthouse and the fucking. It's a lot of things about this movie. Like I said, it's a lot of things about this movie I enjoy, and some things I don't. But like I said, Tisha Campbell, dude, like you don't shit where you eat,
He
man. Because
he
again,
paid for that for the rest of the movie because she
the
was
rest of
committed.
the movie, every
She was
time.
like committed every time. Every woman that got brought back home, she was there
But
every time.
they did not care.
They did. I will say that
it,
they did
when
like
did
just
it
kind of treat
work?
her character like it never worked. He ended up smashing every time. Like every
Every
time it
time.
was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is crazy girl outside screaming, but like, all right, we about to go do what it do anyway. You
Except
know what I'm
Robin
saying?
Givens, but she was playing her game.
Yeah, I'm about to say even Robin Givens, like it didn't really work because she was just playing the long game. Whether Tisha Campbell had been there or
She
not,
was
that
gonna do
night
what
would
she
have played
did.
out the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like Robin Givens was playing by her own set of rules. So Tisha Campbell was kind of like you even see like with the way Robin Givens' character engages with her, she's like laughing it off. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is amusing. This is how you got women
Yeah,
acting over you. You know what I'm saying? Like it was amusing to her. Like, oh, so let me take this dude who he's used to having women react like this to him, let me go ahead and kind of show him exactly like what I'm saying. Two can play at this game. You're not the only one out here moving like this, and you have to find out real quick. She's I'm not like the other women you've engaged with. That was really the angle Robin Givens was taking with him.
and she waited. She waited till he wasn't trying anymore. Or
Yep.
I don't want to say he wasn't trying anymore, but he wasn't trying at that time. Like it's
Yeah.
like we got work to do. We should go to our rooms.
Yeah.
And that's when she got him.
And
She
she was
got
like,
the
"Got
nigga.
one. I
Got
got one.
got him, coach.
Got him." Hey, no, for real though, for real. And I think, and that, to me, like that's the core story, right? That's the core story of
Mm-hmm.
this movie is Robin Givens and Eddie Murphy. That's why the title is what it is. That is what drives Eddie Murphy's character development is his interactions with Robin Givens and how he kind of starts to take a turn and realize like the way I've been moving really isn't it. Takes him a while to get to that realization. Even after kind of coming to that realization, he still goes back to Robin Givens' character,
I'm
which
glad you said that because
blows my mind.
that was my next thing that I was gonna
That
say. It
scene
was
actually
like
pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
he doesn't. I mean, like
That
you
scene
said,
kind of pissed me off.
he grows as a character, but there's no reason why he grows. He
Yeah,
just does.
yeah,
First of all, Angela has left at this point, and
yeah,
he's in bed with Jacqueline. It's Jacqueline, right? Jacqueline.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now he's like, I love her. It's like, nigga, what?
Like what?
Nigga, you closes all your clothes is off. You in bed. Y'all about to get it going. You like, I love her. Like, nigga, this is not the first time you've been with this woman after you've been with Angela. But now you
Yeah,
love her, my nigga. What? So, and that's what I mean with like the story is just very disorganized
I agree.
because, like you said, when he got back, that probably should have been the scene where he went back home to her. He
Yeah,
should have never slept with Jacqueline after he was with Angela.
yeah. No, him going back to Jacqueline is like and that's why I say like the third act feels so convoluted because it's so many different stories coming to their resolution at the same time that it almost felt like, all right, we have to find a way while pushing the story forward to address all these different stories that we've kind of left open ended so far through the
Mm-hmm.
first two acts. And I really, to me, Robin Givens and Eddie Murphy's story should have been mostly resolved by the beginning of the third act so that we can see his growth as a character with Angela. And it wasn't really like that. It was like, well, we still have to have some level of drama here at the end, which him and Gerard over Angela could have been that. That was, if you're looking for some dramatic thing to push the third act forward, that could have been it. I think still continuing to have Robin Givens in there as a factor, it kind of
At
muddied the
all,
water a little
it
bit
did.
as far as his progression with Angela. Because now it's like, how am I supposed to buy as an audience member that you've made this transformation, but you're still going back and doing some of the same things that we've seen you do as a character through the first two acts, and you're supposed to be developing at this point. You know what I'm saying? It made it not as convincing towards the end. But that honestly, like I said, that's really my only major critique with this movie. It's just how the third act played out, and to me it wasn't enough to counteract how good I think the first two acts of this movie were. And there are even parts of the third act I like. I just think as a cohesive story, it feels like there's a bunch of different things kind of clashing with each other as opposed to like just flowing seamlessly. And it feels like, all right, this story is progressing in a way that makes sense and it flows. It didn't really feel like that, you know what I'm saying, as we started to get deeper into the third act.
See, I don't even think that I don't think one and two even like I say even the entire movie to me is very disorganized. It's
Really? Okay.
so much that could have been done without. I love Grace Jones's character.
Top tier. She was as far
I,
as comedic moments, as far as comedic moments, I feel like she was the star as far as the comedic moments in this movie. Grace Jones definitely did her thing.
and it's crazy because I think he had a thing with Grace Jones at some point, Eddie Murphy.
In real
But
life, let me
yeah,
find out.
but again, y'all don't understand the star power that Eddie Murphy had in the fucking 80s and early 90s.
And this is keep in mind this movie is what 3 years after Harlem Nights.
Is it 90? Like I said, this
Because
came out in 92. So
92, if I'm not mistaken, Harlem Nights is 89. So yeah, this is during that run. Like this is peak Eddie Murphy time. Like he is him as far as Hollywood star power goes. So this was definitely a film that, especially with this cast, which at the time these weren't.
and that's the
Yeah,
crazy part.
at the time, this cast isn't as crazy as it looks
Nothing,
now because all these people
nothing.
have star power. But at the time, it's like, oh, Eddie Murphy, he's carrying this movie, and you got Robin Givens and a few other people that the major audience may know. But it wasn't this cast at the time this movie came out isn't as crazy as it looks now in retrospect.
I think maybe I'm sure at this time Martin had obviously Martin had been on. I'm sure he had been on. It wasn't Comic View at the time. It would have been Def Jam Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
David Alec Greer. I'm sure he was coming off of Saturday Night Live at this point. Living Color. Robin Givens has just been a fucking. She got put on. You feel me? That's a whole nother crazy story. This was Holly Berry's like breakout role.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what else she had been in before this, but like this was the movie where people was like, all right, bet. Because again, like you said, when you start watching this movie, Holly Berry is like straight just a side fucking character.
yeah.
She's so unimportant in this movie, you rarely see her. Like
And then as
you
the
see, I'm
film
sorry, you
progresses,
see her in the background and stuff, having
yeah,
side conversations, but she's
yeah,
not a part. She's not the story. And then she, like I said, she becomes a main part of that story. And like again, that's the whole reason I have issue. Just the way everything was done, they brought it up. They took the whole the Eartha Kitt thing. What was her name? Miss
Lady
Eloise,
Eloise, Lady Eloise.
which is fucking hilarious.
Shout out to
But
Eartha Kitt, first of all.
but
Shout out to Eartha Kitt.
after that first scene, once he was done sleeping with her, and at the release party, we did not need to see her anymore.
Yeah, her character was really kind of a punchline after that, which I
And
really hate they did Eartha Kitt
yeah,
like
and
that.
even leading up to him sleeping with her, I feel like it was just so much. Like
It was
we
a
knew,
lot.
yeah, we knew what she was doing. We knew what was
Yeah.
about to happen. The whole dinner part, the the bedroom dancing.
The
First of
butler
all,
snickering after every
yeah,
time he
yeah,
looks at
like
Eddie
dude,
Murphy.
shut the.
Like,
But then we know what she's doing. But
yeah.
then we get a whole what is it, exposition or just position where fucking
Exposition, yeah.
what's her name, Jacqueline tells him like, hey, she has no power in this company. She's a figurehead. She hasn't did anything in 15 years. All
Yeah.
she does is like she wants to sleep with younger men.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. you know so again, we already seen that this is what she's doing. Then
Hmm.
we get the story again, and she's still doing shit. Like she's walking past him talking about some. It's hot in here. I ain't got no panties on. Like yo, what?
Like, he in the office, chill. Like, what are you on?
Yeah, she sent this nigga a picture, fucking uh
Yeah.
large screen print of her. So like I say, it's funny, but it seems like, especially again, Eartha Kitt was probably, I don't want to say she's a, I don't know how to phrase it without sounding bad, but like at the time, Eartha Kitt, she was still a legend, but she's not a big star. But you don't like it. It just seemed like a waste of her. That's
Yeah,
like
it
if
didn't feel like it felt like you casted, like you said, a legend for a role that was like kind of a punchline.
like
It was
think
like I'm
about.
kind of sick y'all did Eartha Kitt like
I'm
that.
thinking like I'm trying to think of an actor that's like most of. I can't say Denzel because Denzel is still a big draw. The
You're
only
talking like an actor who's like people who are into films will consider them a legend, but they're not like a
Yeah,
mega star. I see what you mean.
I want
Yeah.
the closest I can come to is Lawrence Fishburne. Like he's a great
Yeah,
actor.
but like
He's
Lawrence
a but
Fishburne
like
is.
niggas ain't running out to watch a movie that Lawrence
Yeah, I
Fishburne
get
is
what you're
starring
saying. He
in.
ain't a mega star, but like he's a
Yeah,
legend.
Yeah, like again, like we talked about it when we did the amateur. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough respect about how good he is as an actor,
Mm.
especially again back when this nigga was putting out movies in the '90s.
Yeah.
Like so, her character felt like a waste. Like I said, with her, Eddie Murphy, Robin Givens being the biggest actors on that set at the time,
Hmm.
it felt it felt like a waste. Like I said, Robin Givens, I feel like her and Eddie's relationship should have played out a little longer. Um, and it's crazy saying it like this because I felt like it played out long enough, but we didn't see a lot of interaction with them. They slept together. She she fucking stood the nigga up for the movies.
Yeah.
Um,
I do
then
feel like
they
that kind of plays into how their relationship was supposed to be, though. Like their relationship was never supposed to be like we're
yeah
building towards something. It's supposed to be. From Robin Givens' perspective, at least, their relationship was supposed to be. I'm keeping you at arm's length, and I
yeah,
engage with you when I feel like it.
and I'm
That,
I'm fine with that. I just feel like we should have seen more of it because it
yeah,
looks
yeah,
it seemed like we only seen it happen once, and she's like, oh, well, I ain't gotta fuck with you no more. It's
yeah.
like, oh,
I get what
okay,
you're saying. Like there wasn't a progression towards them just cutting shit off. It was
yeah.
just kind
So
of
like,
like, oh, okay, you irritating me. We done.
and that's after we already seen the they next meeting was what 3 weeks or 8 weeks
Yeah,
from. So he makes the plan. So like all this
3 weeks.
happens, and it's
Yeah,
like, all right, well, so I'm be honest with you. I really don't have much else to say. I got one thing that I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna wait to the end because I'm gonna go on a long ass. I'm not gonna go on a long rant. I'm gonna try not to. I think I already ran it enough, but
you ain't got a
it
lot of
was
kicking, my nigga. You gonna go on a rant.
it was the ranting that I've done so far was in line with the movie, but the
Yeah.
ranting that I'm gonna do is not. But like I
Okay.
said,
Fair.
you can't take anything away from it being a classic. It was a.
Hmm.
I'm sure. I am 100% sure this was a great movie at the time, and I wish niggas had money back then like they do today, where they going to see a movie 2 3 times while it's still in theaters, and you know it was in theaters longer than that. If niggas went to go see this movie like they went to go see Sinners, you know
Hey,
we
nah,
we
facts.
Sinners, Black Panther, we would have so many more black stars today. But
Yeah, I definitely do. Before I give my rating of this, I definitely do hope at some point in Hollywood we do kind of get back to a point where we're getting consistent black star power classics like we did, earlier, even '90s, even like early 2000s. Like I just feel like we're not getting high quality black films at that pace anymore. You know what I'm saying? We'll get a Get Out, yes. We'll get a Black Panther. We'll get a Us. We'll get If Bill Street Can Talk. Like yes, films are still getting released that are telling compelling stories with black casts and black characters. But I just feel like the rate at which we got those in the '90s is not happening now.
oh yeah,
And I don't know what it would take for us to get back to that point, but I'm just noticing like the consistency of those types of films getting released is just not the
you know
same
what it
as
was.
it was.
I
What do you think it
what
was?
one I can't say 100%, but one of the
Yeah,
factors of it was the fucking um the pop of hip hop
yeah,
and rap. Like
yeah,
you, because again, they're sucking in our culture. They want this, so
yeah,
they were again all these actors they putting out. A lot of these movies did have very strong hip hop tracks at the time, or that
yeah.
soundtracks at the time.
Yeah, this one was more
Um,
R&B heavy, but generally
yeah,
speaking, with the other films in the '90s, yes,
especially later '90s.
yes,
And I 100% agree with you because the one thing about this movie is like we I don't think there was not this cast was black. This was a
as
black
hell,
cast.
as hell.
Now you didn't have there was no secondary character that was white. They were black, all
The
of them.
only key white character in this movie, and I can't call him a key character, really just the only character that had any sort of meaningful screen time was the suit salesman. That's
See,
literally it.
see,
That is it.
that's that. This is why I'm not going to count him because he had a line or two, but he
Yeah,
was on screen maybe a minute.
that's my
Um,
point.
but
that's
again, hold
that's
on.
my point.
The
He's not an
waitress,
important character at all.
the waitress at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
She was on screen for about 45 seconds,
Keep in
but like,
mind, we're naming characters based off their profession. These characters
yeah.
don't have actual names in the film, which is
so
part of the point we're making.
so they're all background actors. Like I said,
Yes.
like today, like even when we Sinners,
Yeah.
Remick, you got all right, Black Panther, Evan Ross.
Yep.
Um, what was the movie with us? Not us. What's the
Uh,
movie?
Even us, there was a whole
Well,
the family, the other family that they were friends with.
which one is us?
Us is the clones
Okay,
in
that's
the
not the one I'm thinking
underground when
about.
they
Which
came
one is
back.
the one where they were stealing black people?
You
They
talking
was
about
taking
April and
black people.
Tyrone?
No, they was taking black people's bodies and putting themselves in their bodies. The
Oh, let's
first,
get out. Yeah, let's
get
get out.
out, get out.
Yeah.
So again, like even like think about a fucking Tyler Perry movie, and he spoke again. We already talked about how I feel about Tyler Perry movies, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Tyler Perry has white people in his movies playing named characters a lot of times.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking was, while I'm watching this movie, I'm like, okay, well, I kind of gave Tyler Perry a break because I said Boomerang is a classic movie.
Hmm.
But like I said, I think all the scenes, I think they were done well. I just don't feel like all of them need to be there, and I feel
Hmm.
like they were mixed around in orders that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But then I look at Tyler Perry movies, I'm like, okay, well, Tyler Perry usually has a good story. Be honest with you. I love he has good story. He has good stories. Now his stories are becoming repetitive. They're becoming repetitive. The acting is bad half the time, even with his good actors. It seems
Yeah.
they
That's my problem with Tyler
they
Perry as a
they
director
overact.
is a good portion. Granted, you need to have a talented actor to give a good performance, but a good part of what makes an actor's performance come across as very well or great is how they're directed. It's no different than if you're a sports fan, your coach
Mm-hmm.
has a big impact on how the player is going to perform. I don't care if the player is KD. If the coach is terrible, the team is not going to succeed even with KD on it.
You have
and
a
we
team. You cannot do anything without the coach, and that's what, like you
and
said, that's what
that's
separates.
really the same concept with the directors in films. Like you could have the most stacked cast in the world if the director don't got it together, it's not going to matter, and that cast isn't going to look as good as they do on paper. So
Justice League.
when I Justice League is a great example, but even sticking with the Tyler Perry example, for those of you who are familiar with the work of Trevante Rhodes, you know he's a phenomenal actor. When I watched Mia Coppola, you would have thought this man never was in front of a screen a day in his goddamn life. And that's my problem with Tyler
I
Perry as a
I
director
heard that.
is you are taking actors who I know I've seen their other work. I know they can get the shit done in other movies because I've seen them give not just quality performances, but like Oscar worthy performances in other movies. Trevante Rhodes was in a movie that got nominated for an Oscar. Actually won an Oscar. Moonlight won Best Picture. I'm tripping.
I've never seen Moonlight. I think I've only
And
seen one movie that he was in, but I
yeah,
have heard good thing.
he
Good.
was phenomenal in Moonlight. But and for me to see, I've seen Moonlight. I know what he's capable of, and for me to watch him in Mia Coppola, and I was like, dude, why does he suck this much in this movie? This shit don't make no sense. Like Tyler Perry, to me, that was like the nail in the coffin for me as Tyler Perry as director. If you can make an actor who I know is Oscar caliber look
Mm-hmm.
that bad, you're not directing well.
I mean, and this then we're gonna get off the Tyler Perry thing. Just
Yeah,
looking at
yeah, because I'll get on a rant. Let's not.
Taraji P
I'll start
Henson.
ranting.
Taraji P Henson is a fucking great
Jimmy
actress.
Henson's another great example.
Fucking
Megan
great.
Good. We can go down the list of
And
great actors Tyler
I
Perry's made movies
feel
with.
like I feel like she overacts in Tyler Perry things, which makes it bad. Because
Yes.
especially when you have somebody like we make this comparison all the time as when you have a great actor. Every time somebody's up against Denzel Washington. When
Yeah.
when Rami Malek, even him going against Lawrence Fishburne, we're like, okay, how are they doing this?
Yeah.
How do they? It's kind of like a game of fucking ping pong, back and forth, back and forth. It's a rhythm to it. But then when you have one character that's all the way to fuck over here,
Yep.
and you got the other character, he's not over here, he's over here.
Yeah.
It throws it off. So,
Yeah. Their
and
chemistry isn't working. Yep.
that's how I feel about Tyler Perry things. And I said all this to say, I started when I started my thought, I was going to give Tyler Perry a break. I was 100% going to give him a break.
Hmm.
I think Tyler Perry, he did so well with fucking plays. and he switched over to movies. He did a few good movies,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's not a director for
Those are
film.
different skills.
Yeah,
Like
he's not.
putting plays and put together and putting films together are different skill
He is
sets.
not a film director at all.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get off of him because I forgot what the fuck I was talking about with Boomerang. I do remember what my last point is, but you ready for ratings?
Yeah, I'm giving this a 7.
All right.
That was what I originally had it rated before I rewatched it. Rewatching it
Okay.
again, I'm still sticking with the 7. Agree with you. Third act could have been executed better. I still think the first two acts are done well. I think there's a lot of good comedic moments in there. I think romance scenes are handled well. I think Eddie Murphy and Robin Givens' character have excellent chemistry. I think he has excellent chemistry with David Allen Greer and Eddie Murphy. All the characters in this movie really play off each other very well, and that is part of what makes this movie so enjoyable. So I'm still sticking with a 7 for
7.
me on this one.
I'm gonna give it. I'm giving it a 5.5. Like I said,
Lord have mercy.
I'm giving it a 5.5. Like I said, I love the acting in it. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a few times where Eddie Murphy goes into his like straight comedy bag, and you're like, okay, bro, stop laughing, like
yeah,
stop doing this, stop doing that, But the acting, it really is great in this movie, and it's everybody. Martin, fucking, or maybe everybody except Chris Rock, which I don't know why they played Chris Rock like that, and they do that in a lot
yeah.
of. It was done like to him like that in a lot of
He was
movies
very
where
over the top in this movie for sure.
and I hate that. All right, but
At
especially
least with
for
Strawn J, it felt like okay, that's like her character, like her the
right, she's
purpose of
just
her character is to
eccentric.
be outlandish. But like with Chris Rock, it just felt like, well, we casted a comedian in this role,
Hmm.
so we're just gonna have him do gonna have him do over the top shit.
Just over, but I feel like I don't know what he was in before this. I didn't look at it, but um, he's been like that in a lot of movies where
Yeah,
he's the comedic relief, where he's just
yeah,
over the top. Like
yeah,
again, people say it now when if you watch a stand up, he yells a lot.
yeah.
Like that's where fucking what's his name, Kevin Hart got that shit from, I believe.
Hmm.
But like I said, I do like the acting in there. I'll take what I said back. Maybe not the first two acts, but the first act may have been the only one, and there was a lot going on in the first act. But I feel like that one may have been the most straightforward and organized of the
Yeah.
three.
Hmm.
Then, like you said, then I think the second one for me, the second one may have been the most disorganized. The third just had a lot of shit going on to me. All right. I do like the chemistry on that they had with each other, especially you know what, Holly Berry had great chemistry with everybody on set. To be
Halle
honest
Berry
with
was phenomenal in
you,
this.
this movie has given us a lot of fucking uh great classic lines that people
Got to coordinate.
got to coordinate or the bro. Somebody at work showed me that shit like a year ago because they had something on. They was talking about somebody's outfit,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, yo, this is a classic.
yeah,
But I watched the whole clip at the time. I'm like, that's where this came from.
yeah.
You pussy whip. You gotta flip it around. You gotta whip
Around. You
some
gotta whip
pussy.
that pussy. Nah, man, this yeah. R.I.P. John Witherspoon, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Again, John Witherspoon. So I mean, like I said, for me, it was just so disorganized. The
Yeah,
story was not fluid at all, and it was just a lot going on. Even at the end of the movie, when he quit his fucking job and now he's teaching art, and I'm like, okay, well, we know you were like a creative director of ads and shit, but
hmm,
what all do you really know about art that you're
yeah.
teaching art to kids? And how did you get this job? So like it's a lot going on.
The power of dating Halle Berry.
He,
It's
I
the
mean,
power of
I do want to again. I the thing I love about these movies in the '90s is they weren't these movies that we're getting now, where niggas is struggling.
yeah.
Niggas,
There was a
niggas.
lot of black excellence shown in a lot of films in the '90s, which I
This
don't feel like it's prioritized as much in
no,
some of the films that you see today. It's a
this
lot more
nigga,
struggle films. I
yeah,
feel like that we've gotten
struggle
recently.
films. This nigga, everybody's struggling, especially Tyler Perry films. Every one of his films is struggle film. But then you
Oh
got
yeah, no one's prospering in a Tyler Perry movie.
niggas got to sell crack. Niggas gotta rap in their movies, and this nigga's an ad executive. Fucking, we don't know how much money he got, but he got bank because you seen his fucking apartment.
Mhm.
What is again? Even once they slept together, bro. This is what I mean about how things went in this motherfucker. The next scene we see with them, they're at his apartment.
Yep.
She has all of her art that was in her loft. That was again a nice ass fucking loft in New York City.
Hmm.
All of her shit was in his apartment, and Robin Givens Carl, Jacqueline calls. She answers the phone. So how long have y'all been dating that she feels that you are comfortable enough with her answering? But then he goes, "Oh, she just came over to drop some stuff off." It's
Like
like,
what,
my
bro?
nigga, what? She don't even fuck with you like that. Why are
You
you
feel
talking?
and that was like part of why I was just very confused with how they developed him at the end. Because it's like, okay, is this the part where he's supposed to be changing as a
Yeah,
character, or is he
yeah.
still a
He
player?
he
Like
did not change.
it felt like there was a point in the movie where they were still trying to toe the line on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, well, no, which direction are you going with this character right now? Because it's not very clear to the audience, and it feels like y'all just playing both sides right now. Like
Yep.
this is a part of the film where he's supposed to be developing into something different, even though he low key just snaked his man's. And then
He develops
now
into something different. He a snake,
yeah,
nigga.
right, that's the development. He went from a player to a snake.
Nigga
Boom. That's
play
the
into a
that's the
snake,
development.
bro.
That's some sick shit.
So,
But
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying, but I still think this is a film that I'm hoping at some point we get to see more films that are along the lines of things like a Boomerang, like a Best Man, like The Wood, films that showcase more black excellence in
Uh,
certain capacities. And I get The Wood takes place. The Wood kind of shows both sides, right?
yeah.
Because there's parts of the film that take place before they reach their excellence, but it still showcases that part as well. And I would just like to see more black filmmaking that highlights things like this as opposed to some of the other consistent tropes you usually get.
I'm glad you said that because what you said, along with what I said about the trauma stuff, is
Yeah.
leading to the thing I was gonna rant about.
Yeah.
Um, I watched Brown Sugar recently, dude. Maybe 2, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And again, another black classic with fucking just memeable fucking scenes and quotables. Sanaa Lathan,
Celebrating my divorce.
Sanaa Lathan, Ty Gibbs, Boris Kojo. Why am I forgetting his wife's name? Boris Kojo, his real life wife,
Oh, his real life wife.
because she was in the movie as well, which is funny. Uh, I think that's how they met actually. No, they met on Soul Food, the TV show. I can't remember her name, but you know you got fucking Most Def in there, and again, Black Excellent. Fucking every everybody in here was fucking great.
Yeah.
But the thing with these romance movies at the time, bro, was like, and niggas love these movies. They be like, oh my god, it's such a lovely movie. It's such a lovely movie. And I'm watching this movie, bro, and I'm like, these niggas are terrible people. this nigga, this
There's
nigga,
definitely some films that we grew up watching that in retrospect, when you go back and watch it, it's like some of these are not, I would not want to interact with these
bro.
people in real
My older sister, her favorite movie growing up was Love and Basketball.
life.
And even growing up, I'm like, it's not a good movie. I just didn't like. I ain't like. I also didn't like romance movies at the time like that. I'm like, it's not a good
Fair.
movie. This shit's kind of terrible. And then niggas go back and watch it, and you like, yo, why? Like I said, Brown Sugar, bro. These niggas are in love with each other. This exactly why women don't be wanting their men to have female friends, or
Nah, facts.
men don't want their woman to have
Women to have
male
male
friends
friends. Yeah.
because of shit like this. These niggas in love with each other, and his wife did cheat on him, but this nigga was kind of gone already,
Yeah.
and they end up together. So even this movie where all of that shit went on with Jacqueline and Marcus, and there's a happy ending to them. But
Mhm.
again, you put this shit out now, that shit is not going down like that, nigga. Yo,
I would actually be very curious to see how a movie like Boomerang would be
I know.
received today. It's just given all of the back and forth that you see nowadays, I'd be very curious to see how this film will be
No,
received
because
today.
we gonna get this the shit I hate. We gonna get on Twitter. It's gonna be fucking 2 weeks of
Yeah, I'm already knowing.
um. That, are you gonna go 50-50 with your man? Like, shut the fuck up, man. Just
Yeah. It
like.
is going to be a lot of bullshit conversations that come as a result of this.
But that was
I,
that
I don't know
was
why I just said that. I know how this movie will be received today. I don't even know why I asked that question. I know
but
exactly how this movie will be received today.
that was my issue. Like I said, like it's a lot of those. I don't want to say a lot, but there are some movies in the '90s that you watch and you like, yo, these are not love. These are not love stories, bro. If I was going through the shit that these motherfuckers was going through, I would be traumatized.
Yeah,
These are love trauma movies. Um,
yeah.
but that was my whole little thing. I'm gonna let you end it. I do want to know whether the classics y'all want to see is watching though.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think we need to go on a little bit of a marathon of black classics at
Not
some
for
point.
June though.
Not for June. No,
Not for June. We can't
June.
do June.
I'll be real. Summer movie season is a little packed this year,
June,
y'all.
July,
So
it's tight.
catch us in the fall with the black movie marathon. We might be coming with something.
Oh, damn. We should have actually. We might have to move some shit around, man. I forgot Juneteenth.
Oh yeah,
What come out?
yeah.
We might have to do a two for that week, man.
Yeah, just stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? More real junkies content coming. You know we always for the people. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be coming back with some stuff. Definitely stay tuned for Juneteenth. You definitely won't want to miss out on what we got cooking for that. But that's been our review of Boomerang. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all support. Let us know you all's thoughts. I know the movie is been out for some time now. Came out in '92, but still
32
love this.
years.
Yeah, I'm about to say movie been out for a minute, but it's still always good to have discourse, regardless of how old the film is. I just my philosophy as a film fan. Until next time, though, this has been the Real Junkies. Peace.